after that, it was like, yo, okay, let me start doing it. So I started going more into the communities, like, come see me at the bank. If y'all got an issue, y'all can't get a car, you can't get a home mortgage loan, come see me and I help you. And that what gave me the inspiration.
This motivation. Suck, get on your job. If you hate, get on your job. You can look me in my eyes, see I'm ready for whatever. Anything don't kill me, make me better.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're now rocking with your boy, Major Walla. And today in this episode, I got someone I've been following on Instagram for a minute. Come to find out, we both of us are mentees of Recession Proof. We never got the chance to actually talk in person, but it's somebody content that I always be following because I feel like, man, people need to hear what this dude is talking about. For real. So I brought him on the show today to come give y'all the insight on his mental and basically get his journey and how he feel about entrepreneurship and the route that he chose to take. So I'm gonna introduce today Baba Akingbola. What's up, my boy?
Peace. What's good, brother? Thank you once again for allowing me to come on your podcast, bro. Thank you.
Straight up. No, anytime, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for coming on here with me.
Yes, sir.
We talk about entrepreneurship to basically get the younger generation that's coming up behind us another mentality of not that old traditional way of graduate high school, go to college, and then get a 4-year degree, then work at someone's job 20, 30 years for success.
Right.
Basically showing them that it's way more opportunities in there and it's different lanes. That's why I have a lot of different people coming onto the show that speaking on a bunch of different career fields that they took. Some are working for someone, but most of them are entrepreneurs like yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
So basically just giving them the insight of how you see it and and the route that you chose to take. Do you want to like introduce yourself and give the people a little bit something about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Baba Akingbola. My mama's name is Christopher Williams, but in the community they call me Baba Akingbola. I am the owner of Wise Enrichment Group and Wise Financial Literacy, and we specialize in teaching the fundamentals of financials, right? Understanding the basics, because in this day and age, a lot of individuals, or if you can see a lot of our counterparts, they want to move quick into building wealth, but don't understand the fundamentals, or the foundation is very rocky. So I've been in banking for over 13 years now. Started out in banking. I'm no longer working in banking, but been in there for 13 years. And I'm just taking all that I learned in banking, from front end banking, back end banking, underwriting, loan processing, mortgage processing, to express or explain how to really build wealth using what you have, which is yourself and your power of yourself. So that's what we all about, brother.
Straight up. You worked in the bank doing underwriting and everything too?
Yeah, man. I started out in banking, man, working at Citibank back in 2011. My roommate, he was working in there, and he was like, bruh, I was working at CarMax selling cars. And I was a bad dude at CarMax, but I got tired of working Monday through Sunday, bro. You gotta be there all day.
And you gotta be on it selling them cars.
Right. So he was like, bro, you want to come on through the bank? I was like, bro, I don't know nothing about no banking. He was like, bro, you do finance right now working at a dealership. I was like, that's true. So he was like, come on. So this when Obama was in office, and we were doing loan remodifications. Yeah. And that's when I learned that, boy, this system this system something else. This
they can manipulate it to make it work for the people that they wanted to work for.
Yeah, and exactly. And that's when the blindfolds came off, bro. And I was like, yo, I really got to start teaching it. So I would learn what I could, go back into the community and be like, look, if you got a mortgage and they talk about doing loan remodification, don't do that. Do this program. And I just started educating. I fell in love with it since then.
See, that's what I'm saying. And that's the type of information I want the viewers to, to get out of it. Because like I say, I'm going to put your Instagram right here. I'm going to put it right here when I put the video out. Because they make it like a house. Buying a house, they make that like that's the finish line. Like, oh, you get married and then you go buy a house. In our community, when you buy your house, you looking at that like, that's something to brag on. Like, all right,
Right.
I'm buying my house. Like,
Yes.
so if you got a person that's, hey, I know what the loan remodification really means. That's
Exactly.
something that our community can benefit from.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because don't get me started with this new Bank of America loan that they come out with. That
yeah,
boy, loan.
it's a lot of red tape go to it, huh?
Yes, sir. Don't do that. That's a setup for the okie doke.
Yeah,
That's a setup day. Yeah.
you got to read that fine print.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Like, what started you to want to go the entrepreneurship route instead of just staying inside the corporate banking system and just working your way up through the system? What made you go to like, now I'm gonna deliver this information the entrepreneur route? What made you do that?
Well, man, be honest with you, bro. I was working at this credit union here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And again, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a bad man when it comes to
Hey, bro, toot it, bro.
yeah, I'm a bad dude when it came to banking.
Yeah.
And I started at this job, started, base level, started member face to face, and member face to face, meaning when you come into a bank, I'm the one you come into my office, I set up your loans, the checking, savings accounts, and such.
Exactly.
And I started doing that, man. And this bank that I started with, this credit union I started with, their numbers was in the red.
Okay.
Meaning that they was trying to get enough deposits and loans out to the point that where they can start making money on the green, where everything was being a profit. So I was making close to, if I didn't hit $1 million, I was there. I mean, almost, cause I was almost near
right at it. Hey,
hitting $1 million
express
a month.
Yourself, my brother.
Yeah. I was almost
yourself.
almost right there at $1 million in loans and deposits. And it got to the point to where I was now their go-to person for community work. I would go to the Fortune 500 companies and I would start teaching these financial literacy classes, how to buy your first house, what's credit, how to build budget. And I started really making a name for myself in the community. And it came to a point where my numbers pretty much got them out the green or got them in the green. And they was like, well, we're going to make you branch manager because now we can build our own branch. So we go through it. I do the interview. They tell me, in the interview, there's like, we ain't really got to talk much about the interview because you already got a position based off of, we already know what you're about. And they came to me and was like, we want you to train this dude. Something came up. We want you to, pretty much be assistant manager, but we want you to train.
Yeah, that's the vanilla in the tailpipe right there.
Right. And this guy, European,
exactly.
And right then I was like, nah, I'm not going for that. Nah, I'm not going to be, I done put in too much work. Like I done showed
train someone to be over me.
Right. Exactly. So I quit, bro. I walked out right then. I told my wife, yo, this is it for me. And I ended up getting a mortgage. Because I was like, let me learn some more about mortgage before I really go all the way out. Got in a mortgage, and then they laid me off back in this February of this year. And after that, I was like, I know too much for me not to be able to make my own money and do this the right way. And I right then, that day I got laid off, I think I made almost $6,000 that day, more than what I would make on a regular paycheck. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
They let you know, that stamped it approved right there. This if I was second guessing myself, hey, that was the kick to let you know, man, go on, get out there, man.
Yeah.
Because basically we use things that happen to us in our lives for inspiration to make us act on certain things. Besides you making the first sale of $6,000, like what would you say inspired you to actually, like, I'm gonna start teaching financial literacy? Like, what inspired you to go that way?
Well, when I was at this credit union, man, and I really started helping or started being able to control how people get approved for loans and how banking and savings working, I noticed that a lot of our people did not understand financial literacy. They didn't understand the basics of banking. They didn't even understand that, man, I'm a member of this credit union and I got more power than the manager of this credit union. And I just seen where a lot of our people, man, to the point where they didn't have no money. they house getting foreclosed, bills not being able to get paid, and these individuals come in my office, and it was almost like I was doing therapy and banking at the same time because
they
they trusted me. So they was like, look, Baba, bro, my son got this going on, my daughter got this, my wife got this, and we can't do this, bro. I need your help. And I just started really diving deep into how can I get people approved, and I started challenging the banking system.
Exactly.
And once I started winning, after that, it was like, yo, okay, let me start doing it. So I started going more into the communities, like, come see me at the bank. If y'all got an issue, y'all can't get a car, you can't get a home mortgage loan, come see me and I help you. And that what gave me the inspiration, man, because then they all started trusting me. It all started working. And then I was like, brother, you got to keep going. And that's what happened. And that's
straight
what
up
into doing it myself.
Yeah, because like with the clients that I have, when they looking to get a car, because you know most people go the traditional way of going straight to that dealership and allowing that dealership to give them 1,500 inquiries trying to get them approved. Like, so I like to send I have a bank that I send a lot of my clients that's local in the city that I'm in.
Yeah.
I send them to this bank because just like you say, it's a person in there that actually knows and what it takes for a person to get approved for an auto loan,
right?
Or what your financials need to be to get. Is this a good car for you, for the person? Like, because you know, some dealerships just to put you in the car. They don't care if your finances are right or anything. But I know when I send them, if I build a credit up to a limit where I know it needs to be, and I send them to my guy at the bank, I know that he's going to put them in the right kind of loan that they need to get the right vehicle that they need, or the right mortgage that they need for their home. Because you know the way, I guess, the way that you write up the loan, it can play a part on the APR on the mortgages too.
That's so true, and that's what happened with me
with
the auto loans. Is a lot of people come in, hey, I want this Dodge Charger, I want this right this, like, Baba, I need this car. I'm like, no, you don't, because down the road you're gonna run into something down the road. You're gonna want to come back to me and get a loan. Let me show you this vehicle. Let me show you about the power of Toyota, Hondas, and how resale values hold up higher than these other vehicles. And if you need a loan, we can come in and do another loan, and I can take the equity out of that car and give you that money, and then you can go back on and you still paying the same monthly payment you had. I was doing them type of loans, bro. They was in there like, what?
See, because you give people hope. Like I say, you get clients in and you listen to their story, and they don't have the hope of thinking that, like, I can get what I want. Like, they really believe they can get what someone put them in. Like, bro, if you go by doing it the right way, you can get the exact vehicle that you want. Like, just by learning, like, just like you said, Toyota, Honda, like, bro, they got a better shelf life. Like, most Dodge is only for 10 years, really. Like, especially a Charger anyway. Like, that's a 10-year vehicle before you're going to run into some heavy maintenance issues.
Right. Or the value don't even hold up long enough. As soon as you drive as soon as you drive it off the lot, the value done drop. Yeah, so that education, man, educating people, because I sold cars. I done put people. I had a girl, she was like, I just need to get a car. We could have get approved for nothing. I just threw her in the car. She couldn't drive stick shift. But before she left the lot, I had her driving stick shift, because I was like, look, I can't get you nothing else, but this car gonna be good for you, but it's a stick shift. Let me take you out the back parking lot. Let me show you how to drive a stick shift.
Like, since you started your entrepreneurship journey, from life working at the bank to life as an entrepreneur, would you say that did you have to change your priorities, or did your priorities change any?
Yeah, definitely my priorities changed, because I went from a steady income to now it's all on me. And I got a wife, and I have 4 children, and I got a senior in high school, a freshman in high school, then I got a 5 and a 3-year-old. So it's, bro, it wasn't just that, and my wife was a stay-at-home mom. So I really had to put in, so my priorities changed a whole lot, because now I really have to hustle. And that's where that entrepreneurship, it's big right now, But that right there gonna let you know when the butter meets the
It gonna make the man from the boys, ain't it?
I'm trying to
I
tell you.
people, I'm like, man, listen, it's a different mentality when you saying you're a provider and you working at a job for 40 hours. But once you go into that world of on you, that's going to bring out, that's going to show you, it's going to reveal the man to himself. Like, so I tell everybody, like, man, I know it's a big trend on Instagram or social media, that entrepreneurship. And I know and I understand people making it look good, but they not showing you those nights when you're in there like this,
Right.
scratching your head up, looking at the ceiling. Like, because like you say, everything, like your running your business falls on you now. It's no one that, like, unless you got, I would say I call my guys team members. I got team members that I can delegate to, but for the most part, but all the decision making is falling on me. And like, it's up to me to be able to provide the lifestyle, like make sure that the lifestyle don't fall off for your family from the time where you was working to the time where you working for yourself. If make it better, or at least maintain it.
That's yes. And that was the hard part for me, is balancing those two. Because I still had a 9-to-5 worker mentality, right? And like you said, I had some team members, but I'm still approaching them as if I'm an employee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't
asking
like
you asking them.
hey, do you mind? Like, no, like, hey, this is the job, this is what we got to do. And
gotta have this done. Yeah,
exactly, man. Exactly. And it was a struggle. And sometimes it's still a struggle, but I understand customer service. I understand how to help people.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest part of keeping me being successful, is because even if I don't understand the back end part of everything, our customer service is good, and I'm speaking and I'm talking to you like I want to help.
Exactly.
That outweighs anything.
It's just making you a better human. It's making you an overall better human being, bro.
Yes, sir.
By having to deal with different issues, and you learn, you develop better problem solving skills from the employee mind to the boss mindset. Man, that elevation is a higher elevation from like you can't really deal with things in your lower self no more. You got to think of the bigger picture.
Yeah. I like how you said that you got to deal with that lower self, because my lower self told, when I dealt with it, it was like, bro, you was not a hustler like you thought you was.
Yeah.
That gut check, but that was a gut check for me. I was like, yeah, I am. I'm the man of these streets. They was like, no, bro, no, you're not the man of these streets. I need you to man up. I was like, what?
Real. You got to elevate.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, that whole communication, you touched on some gems you dropped, because that communication and all that, man, that joint helped me even in my marriage.
Yeah.
Where now I'm sitting, my wife was like, who is you? I was like, I know, see?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know how to express yourself better too, don't it?
So black men out there, or if you're in a marriage period, understand communication is the key to your woman's happiness.
Man, what you say, it ain't money, it ain't time, it's communication. Communication is the number one thing.
That's
for
it.
real.
Yes, sir.
So what is some of the things that, if you could start over from the beginning, that you think that you would do differently that you didn't do?
Hey,
take your time, bro.
Heed advice. Like when somebody shares something with you, like take it for face value and really try to implement it. Don't just think that, okay, they just sharing that just to be sharing it, but really listen and use or try to implement what you've been taught. Like my 20s, my papa told me, man, in my 20s, he said, in your 20s, son, that's when you're supposed to start establishing yourself and getting things in order. That way in your 30s and so on, you can sit back and you can chill. Exactly. But nah, I want to hang out. I want to party. I want to go to school. I want to do all this stuff. And I didn't pay attention. And it was in my 20s, I made some money.
Yeah, me too.
Where I could be like, dang, I could be sitting back and really what I'm I'm learning now and what I know now, I could have been doing that. But, just listen to advice of elders, people that you know that's did this before, that has the wisdom in what you're doing. Take heed and really listen and use them as a ladder to take you where you want to go, instead of thinking that, oh, they just talking just because they got the wisdom and they older than me. Nah, they share something with you because at that time in your life, you needed that to take you to that next level.
Exactly. I wish I would have done the same thing, man.
Yeah.
So like you say, in my 20s, I made a decent amount of money. And if I would have been handling things the way that, I ain't gonna say I had a lot of people telling me, but I can say I remember where it was some people saying, like, man, you might want to, you know what I'm saying, get you some way, or, you know what I'm saying, or get you some land or something like that. I have been like, man, that's what y'all talking about. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think you know everything.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's no best time by like the present. Like, so I'm glad that I started when I started, but I wish I could have started earlier. What challenges did you face or had to overcome since you've been an entrepreneur, a full-time entrepreneur?
One challenge is, the biggest for me was delegating my time. When I got out the workplace, I was like, oh, I ain't got to clock in. I ain't got to do none of this. Like, what do you mean? You mean I can just go head up the street and chill with homie over there? Okay, man. Hey, y'all want to go do lunch or brunch or something? What y'all want to go do? So that was one of the biggest things for me is, making sure I delegated my time right. My time for my business, self-improvement, my family, and whatever else, my spirituality, all of that. And that was the hardest thing for me. And the other thing for me was just breaking out of the mindset that you're no longer an employee, you're now an owner. Exactly. So that challenge was hard for me because people call me, they be like, Baba, hey, I heard you ain't at the bank no more, but can you help me with this? And I'll be quick to be like, yeah, so I need you to go do this, go here, go do that. And they be like, all right, bet, what do I owe you? I was like, nah, you don't owe me nothing. You know this how we do. And I had to start learning that, they do owe you something, because now you working for yourself. So that advice, that consultation you gave, that got to come. It's an exchange. You gave something, so you got to get it back. So that was one of the biggest things, because my wife would look at me like, hey, no more handies. Like, we can't do that no more. I'm like, yes.
If you having people like that, and it's actually, you got to start doing that for free. So like you say, because you have to get it in the mentality of, I am worth you paying me. That's whatever I say that it's worth, like whatever it's charged, I am worth you paying me that. Because the results you're going to get is worth a lot more than the money that you paying me. Because
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes. That's the part that don't really go off for people, is that I'm giving you this information that if you really implement it and you start getting creative with it, it can maximize. There's no limit on how much you can make off of this. You can keep getting it and getting it. But you got to get creative based off of what I gave you, the foundation. I gave you the foundation. Now go build the rest.
Exactly. The most important part of a home or any building is the foundation. So once you get that, hey man, you got build. You got, if you're not building out there, you just keep coming back like you just want to basically leech the information. Like, bro, I might charge you a lot more than what I'm charging the next person.
Bro, that's what happened with me. I was like, yo, at one point I had my prices a little too low.
Yeah.
And I was doing it and they didn't want to pay the low price. But then when I came back, they was like, all right, Bob, I'm ready. So what's your fee? I was like, oh, this is my fee now. They was like, wait a minute. That ain't what you talking before. I was like, yeah, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Facts. With your company, what would you say is unique about your company?
What's unique about Wise Enrichment Group, man, is that we come from the banking background, right? We actually seen how banking operates in and out. We've seen how credit works. We understand credit reports from the back end to the front end. Like, we understand
how to build them out,
how to utilize an underwriter, and how to really build wealth by using Roth IRAs, assets, trust. Like, we really did this. we manage profiles of other individuals who had a couple $1 million. Like this is what we've seen on a regular normal basis. Like I told you, I was helping Fortune 500 companies with their employees, and even the owners of these Fortune 500 companies, I was helping them with getting out of debt. So I've been in that field of where we can really show you how to build wealth and do it the right way, you know, and it's not the way of what the system says should be, but the way of, if you take it bit by bit, you know, it's a saying in my spirituality that I say, bit by bit, we eat the head of the snake. That if you really listen and take time of doing what I'm showing you, you will be successful. So I think that separates us from a lot, because, you know, you mentioned the content. When I go in there and speak on the content, I'm not coming based off of what we already hearing from other successful content creators and things like that. This is no. Let me tell you about what I see.
I promise you. And you ain't talking like, bro. Yours be original. It's original. I promise you. And you can tell that you got knowledge on both sides of it. Like working it, doing it for someone, and knowing exactly how it's supposed to look. You can tell that you're a knowledgeable person within that.
Thank you.
If it was a person that's out there that's having trouble with like financial literacy or credit or anything like that, what advice would you give that person?
Well, the first question I would ask them is, what's your number one thing that you like, right? Out of all that you have right now, what's something that you really, really love to do? And, you know, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people like, man, I like to travel. I like to do this. I'll be like, okay, bet. So you like to travel. So right now in your savings account, what do you have that you can now leave today and go ahead and go to a travel any place that you want? And they'd be like, I don't. I said, exactly. Why don't you have that? Well, that ain't really that important. Well, you just shared to me that it is important to you. So why don't you have these things in place or something in place to do something that's important to you? And then I start showing them that if it's important to you, start establishing things that will help you get to those things that you love, right? Money is a tool. And the root word of money is currency, and the root word of currency is current. Money is an energy at the end of the day, right? We can get caught up in politics and all the type of stuff, but all this stuff when it comes to financials is spiritual. So if you feeling down, or if you feeling that you can't obtain something, there's something within you spiritually that's blocking the currency or the current or the flow of the energy of money. So let me start sharing with, where are you at mentally? And then when they start telling me about where they at mentally, then I say, okay, bet. All right, there's some steps to help you mentally. Now that we got your mental in place, because if your mental ain't in place, you can't go and be successful financially. So once we get your mental good, then we go into, all right, let's start showing you how to budget. Let me start showing you how to set up your accounts to start telling your money what to do, because you got to give your money a job. If you don't tell instruction, exactly, because again, it's energy. So if you're not giving it a duty, a job, then money just gonna go wherever it need to be. So let me start showing you how to control the energy of the currency that you're receiving.
Straight up. Because that's how I market my credit repair service. Like the number one mindset and credit repair service in the world. Most people that need it, they credit repair is way larger than just that 3-digit number. You can't change something that's tangible without changing the intangibles. Your intangibles have to change. If your wants are increasing, but your income is not, decreasing your expenses is not going to be able to accomplish your wants. You're going to have to improve your income. So I understand when you're saying that, Bird, it's an inner thing to make you understand that I am worth it. I do deserve it. Okay. So when you started your empire, your financial literacy empire, when you started your empire, how did you make your first initial investment?
Yeah, so the first investment was recession proof. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, somebody came in the bank years before markets really got big and was like, he be talking what you be talking, bro. Like he be doing free webinars, he be doing free lives, bro. Get on him. I was like, all right, bet, let me get in there. So I went in one time and got on, And I was like, I ain't fooling with this dude.
Yeah.
I'm coming from the banker's aspect. I was like, nah, in the bank, we don't talk like that. Like, nah, we
Yeah.
don't do that. Like, and I
Yeah.
missed that opportunity. I remember that back then, it was like only $300 to join with him or something like that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
And yeah, I never forget, bro. And that was my huge investment then. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, because I already I was gifted when I was at the bank. A girl that was a CPA, she's like, here, you gonna really need this. And she gave me the manual for the reporting agencies, like the actual handbook for them. And it had all the letters that they use to get it approved, to get it ran through. It had every letter that you needed, how to write the letter, how to put the letter, what to look for in the letter, all that. So I was helping my clients. I was doing credit restoration and repair back then. I was typing it up for them, all that stuff. I'm like, here, go do this, get it off your credit, then come back, see me once in 30 days after they remove it, come back, see me, and I'll get you the loan. So I was doing that. And I was like, I don't know the other system. Like, what's a system to help me? And that's when I seen him again. And I was like, let me go ahead and buy this course. I got in, learned the system. I was like, okay, CRC, bet. All right, let me go get CRC. I made my first investment. I started doing it there, making the letters. And then from there, man, I was like, I need to scale this because I'm working a 9 to 5. I can't be doing this. This too much. Sending letters, working, and trying to do all this other stuff. And I think I invested like into a team.
Yeah.
And now I can have somebody doing my customer service calls. They handling all that. They sending out the letters. I still want to do the consultations because I want to be the one that they speak to. And I started adding finance into it. So now we got our own finance, our banks that got a for personal and funded. Like, so that 10K was able to get me to
putting it together piece by piece.
Piece by piece. So yeah. So it started with the recession. Then after that, I was like, I gotta do something else. And that 10K, and it was all because of me making that investment of that 3,500. That was able to get me the money to then do the 10K. And then now from there, now I'm like, okay, how else can I scale it now?
If I could say I really did too much research on market. I just knew he was talking about what I needed. Like I knew I needed how to structure a business like the correct way. And I needed to know what to do with the funds that I have instead of just making money and then just blowing it. And I needed a group of individuals to be around.
That's exactly
people I'd have met since I entered recession. Like, man, that is worth well over $5,000. Man, y'all some dope people, man.
Yeah,
like for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, like you say, like, do you have employees in your business?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we have 5 of us. Yeah.
Okay.
5.
All right. These are the type of questions. These are the questions that I like to get because this get inside your mind and basically let people know what type of individual you is and how you see things. Like when you hear a word like success, like how would you go about defining success in your own words?
Success in my own words, brother, is just saying good morning. Because every day I gotta accomplish. I don't care if if I made $5, $1, if I was able to jump a hurdle that I had troubles with yesterday, if I was able to do something or help somebody another way, that's successful to me, man. I'm not a big person that's hell bent on, the luxury of life, right? My success come into seeing my children, right? My son, he's a senior this year. And to see that I got a young black male that's going to be graduating. He's in early college already, like, right? He only need 2 classes to graduate high school. He going to early college. Man. That's success to me because now he's way better than me. So I did my part on showing my son that, hey, you are me, but a better version of myself. So that's success to me, brother, is just seeing that manifestation of myself 4 times, from him to my daughter to my son to my baby girl. That's success to me, man. And just seeing me or them pushing me to be a better me, because if it wasn't for them in my life, I don't know if I have Wise Enrichment Group or Wise Financial. You know what I'm saying? So every day that I get up and I'm like, thank you for calling Wise Enrichment Group. How can I assist you today? That's success.
Straight up. I can dig it. I can dig it. I got 4 kids myself, and I would say the same exact thing, man.
That's the conversation with me and my son as well, because now you know, when I was in school, it was I ran track. So it was like, boy, you need to go to school. You need to get a track scholarship so you go to college. And I'm like, college ain't for me. Like, I ain't really into college. So, but it was like, nah, you got to go to college. You need to go to college. And my son, he came and he was like, I don't want to go to college. I'm like, okay, great. So what do you want to do? Well, Dad, I really want to, you know, I really enjoy music. I was like, okay, cool. Music is good. But let me sit down. Let me show you the statistics of music. Yeah. What if I can show you that you can go and get a trade and allow the state to pay for it with early college? Go get a trade. Once you graduate from school, you already got a certificate. You can go in your trade, start making money, whether it's diesel mechanic, electrician, septic tank installer, whatever it may be, and then allow that money to then fund your dream of being in music. I was like, so he was like, I can do that. I was like, hell yeah, you can do that.
Yes, so you can do
that. So and so I like that, man. And salute to you, brother, because we're changing that whole concept of what Black men can do and what can't do. So I salute to you, brother, because you know we changing the narrative, and it starts with our young ones because they the future.
100% agree. The most dangerous thing on this earth is a Black man with a can-do attitude.
I'm trying to tell you, boy, they can't stop them.
Man, they can't stop you. They cannot stop you because, especially when you learn how to control your emotions and you learn how to stay even keel, you don't get too high, you don't get too low. Like whether if it's the best day in your business, try not to be too high, because if you experience that high, the only way that you're able to experience that high, because it has an opposite. You got to be willing to experience a low that's equal to that high. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't have one without an opposite.
Yeah, that was me this summer. I ain't gonna lie, that was me this summer. That happened in June. I made the most money I ever made in my company in June. And then I had the most issues, the most problems, the most Lord, boy, I'm trying to tell you, boy, it hit me hard, boy. It was like, and that was my question. I was like, God damn, I'm supposed to be enjoying this, but this is the worst feeling ever. Yeah, bro, that you talking. I experienced that. I know exactly what you're talking
about. And the good thing about it, because the way you can handle your losses, and my old lady had to tell me this. She had to stop and tell me, like, man, listen, like, you got to look at it like this, something you decided to do. So, with your whole journey, this whole journey you've been on, what would you say that you enjoyed the most about your whole journey?
The different levels of myself, man. I enjoyed going through and really seeing that, bro, you are an unstoppable being. That you really got it. Like, you know, because I grew up, like you said earlier, that it was, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, single parent home, my mother and my mom envied me, man, or she, you know, she resented me because I looked just like my daddy. So anytime I did anything or said anything, she'd be like, boy, you just make me sick because you look just like your daddy. Like, you know how that is. So
I experienced the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Same exact thing.
Growing up, I always had to look for validation because I was like, dang, I always needed that in life. And as I grew in life, I started learning more and more as I started not operating from a lower self, but trying to reach a consciousness that I can be king in my own realm or God in my own realm.
God. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You are God. Like, you God manifested in you, man.
Yes, it. So as I seen those different levels, I enjoyed that journey because me today compared to back then, man, it's totally different. So I appreciate that level, that journey, this destiny that I'm walking in. You know, I ain't reached all the way there yet, but I'm close and closer every day.
Thanks. Because we, like, growing up in the environments that we grew up in, you know, it basically don't talk to nobody you don't know. Right. It wasn't no stranger danger type time.
Yeah.
Like, they raised you to be standoffish for people that look like you. If they ain't from the neighborhood you from, they train you to be standoffish. Like,
if you ain't from Sand Ridge, If you ain't from my part of the side of the country, if you ain't my cousin, I don't know who you is. Like,
You know what I'm
I only
saying?
deal with family. That was
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
I know.
So it's like, bro, what I'm talking to the people for. But now, once you will elevate within yourself and you start to see, like, bro, people is the real currency. And like, I can honestly say, bro, if I see that Wise LLC, I'm gonna stop and watch the video, bro. I got to. I
Yeah,
got to,
thank
dog.
you.
Bro, things that you said about the Trump making the girl.
Land.
Yeah, listen. I wrote this. I wrote that down when you was talking about it right here. I'm like, bro, I ain't know that. It's a lot of tactics that Trump implies in business that if we learn it, bro, it's
Right.
going to make our community better once we start sharing it with each other.
Right. Because you from Alabama, man. So you understand that the mindset, that's country. Yeah. I'm from the low part of country of South Carolina, like the Gullah Geechee people.
Yeah.
Right now, my family land, they implementing building a whole new road to get you to Myrtle Beach because they talk about they want to delay traffic. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, stop that. We got a cemetery on our land. Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me go ahead. We about to stop this whole road process right now because now I understand that I got the information. Yeah. Let me implement it. Now let me go tell the elders, like, hey, hold off. Don't go do nothing yet. Yeah. I got a plan. Give me about a couple of days. Let me figure this out. And we about to run this real quick.
Yeah, that's big. Like you saying y'all got a cemetery on y'all family land. Like, bro, that's big.
Exactly. Or yeah, or they're gonna try to build it, but we gonna hit them with this about to be a historical land. We about to wrap it up
in here in a second, but it's one thing I want to ask you. Well, not ask you. It's basically a scenario. If it's a person that's out there that's on the edge and basically tiptoeing around entrepreneurship, what's some words that you would tell that person to basically give them that nudge that they need to jump?
My favorite verse by Hove: nobody built like you, you design yourself. Go out there, do you. You different in your own way, right? Can't nobody do you but you. And it's time for you to put your piece, or what we call ashe, your power, into this universe. Ashe. So step out there and go do that. Move. Make a movement. Because once you start, I'm a firm believer in ancestors, bro, and how they move and how they operate. All they require us, and a lot of people, if you don't understand what I'm saying, is ancestors, like the veneration, that junk DNA that's in our blood that they tell you is junk. That's your past, present, your past ancestors that walked before you. That's them living within you. So if you just go and do just a little bit, I guarantee you that they will push you the rest of the way. I know it. I'm a witness. My brother here is a witness. Like, they will push you to where you need to be, because history is the best qualified to teach. So if you know how they moved in the past, they're going to only show you how to move better in the future. So just step out and be yourself. Don't worry about what nobody say, because that don't matter anyway. Only thing that matters to you is if you love yourself, if you care for yourself, you do for yourself. All that outside stuff, it don't matter. So just be great. Be you. Be unique.
The best thing about being you, if you being you, you one of a kind. Why waste your time being someone else? Being you is unique enough.
That's it.
Because there's someone that's out there that's want to hear about what you got to say. Or if you got a product, it's someone out there that want the product that you got. Everyone got an audience. I know it's a better way of speaking English.
Yeah, but
hey, you got to do it the way that you know how to do it.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying?
But listen, and this the power in that. The universe only responds to how you speak.
If I'm being true to who I am, the message is getting across. Hey, before we close out, is there anything else that you like to, any ebooks or any courses or anything that you trying to sell or services? Like, you can send me the description. I'll put it down in the description when I post it. But just give the people a word on the outside.
Okay. All right. So you can find me at on Instagram at wise_LLC, Facebook Wise Enrichment Group, and on TikTok is gonna be wise_LLC. Under my bio, we do have we got our own ebook. It's called Nothing Personal, Just Business, where we breaking down everything from personal down to business. and how to really structure yourself to be an owner within this corporation, aka America. We do free webinars, monthly webinars. So once you follow the page, you'll see how we have different webinars. They're free. And it's just me, a lot of my comrades, a lot of people that I met in the networking that just come on, just share their expertise and just share how we can get to being free. And not free and a part of just like separate from the system, but free mentally, financially, and spiritually. So yeah, check me out on them platforms and I'll make sure I get the information over to you. But just check me out, man. I'm here to help in any way I can and help people grow. So hit me up.
Man, I just want to thank you again for coming on here with me today, dog, and just giving the people some more insight of another person that looked like us, that didn't go the traditional route, but is living a successful life. So don't get into doing something that you feel in yourself that you don't agree with. You see what I'm saying? So there was another episode of Likeable Figgas. I'm Major Walla. I thank you for joining us tonight. And make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe on this video. And I guess I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.